So when I moved into the UK, I pretty much came with almost nothing. I'm Ghanaian,
Yeah.
and I have a Ghanaian passport.
Yeah.
I have an Italian passport, but I grew up in Italy. My vision was to be an NBA player.
Yeah.
But again, you have to be realistic at some point. I stopped playing basketball. That sort of knowledge and advice that this coach gave me never really left me. I found out about the issue of food waste in the UK and Europe, the fact that there is up to 40% of fruits going to waste because of shape, size, and color.
Yeah.
Supermarkets are not buying all of these fruits. When you go to supermarket, you see the nice looking fruits, all polished, shiny. But in nature, fruits comes in all shapes and sizes. So what are we really eating? What's going on? 3-4 months I didn't have any job. I even slept standing one time.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sound of Korea podcast. I go by the name of Adrian Daniels. If this is the first time listening, this is a show where we speak of top Ghanaian founders, entrepreneurs, and creators worldwide with the aim of leading you behind the meaningful takeaways that you can apply in your life, business, and career. Just some housekeeping for today's show notes. I'd like you to head over to thesoundofkorea.com/Gusto Snacks. That's GUSTOSNACKS. So Gusto Snacks, GUSTOSNACKS, for all of the tips, references, nuggets, and resources from today's episode. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think of today's episodes. And if you're listening on the podcast players, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 5-star reviews, very much appreciated. All right, so that's the housekeeping out the way, guys. Now, before I introduce today's guest, before I do that, I just want to tell you a bit about today's guest. So we actually caught up on LinkedIn, recently, and I've been following this guy for quite some time. And then recently, I just thought, you know what, let's have a chat, because he's just been doing some amazing things. We had a chat the other day, and now he's here, which is fantastic. He's here just in time for season 7. There's such a perfect time for him to be here. I'm really, really excited with what he's doing with his brand, Gusto Snacks. They're stocked in, various places such as W.H. Smith, is that Amazon, is it Selfridges and other places? Yeah. Excellent. Giuseppe. Have I got it?
Yeah, it's Giuseppe. Giuseppe. You got it right.
Giuseppe. Thank you for coming on. I'm going to try it.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been, startups is busy. A lot going on, but, I'm very happy and really proud of, and grateful as well for, for where we are at the moment.
We have to be grateful for life.
100%.
You have to be grateful for life. Okay, so for those of you who don't know much about him, so Giuseppe, he is the CEO and the founder of Gusto Snacks. So they are an award-winning brand on mission to reduce food waste whilst improving consumers' well-being and the planet. And he has a background in product design, 10 years of experience in marketing and brand building, and he successfully shaped the company's brand vision, propelling it to rank among the top 100 startups in the UK. Wow. Under his leadership, Gusto Snacks has expanded its presence to multiple national retailers in London, including Selfridges, W.H. Smith. And, Giuseppe also channels his passion for marketing and branding by collaborating with startups in the food and beverage industry. So we are definitely going to talk about all of this, Giuseppe. It's just incredible what you're doing. Now, I want to do something unorthodox, right? Before we get into today's conversation.
Let's go.
Right? Because this really just highlights your journey, right? This is your LinkedIn post, and you say, what the startup journey has taught me, you have to run your own race. When I founded Gusto Snacks, I used to look at other startups that were doing well, raising millions in funding, growing so quickly, thousands of customers. Then I compare it to my startup, no funding secured, which is incredible. You bootstrapped, right?
Yeah.
Growing so slowly, customers were scarce, and it brought me down. It made me feel less confident about myself. I thought I was doing everything wrong. The day I decided to stop giving attention to noise around me was the day real growth happened. And of course, it goes on to say all of the achievements that you've made, including securing angel investors and expanding to airports and saving over 70,000 units of fruit from going to waste, and then launching into 50 offices across the UK, including Google, Bloomberg, and more. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. First, I just want to say,
Thank you.
why are there, Pa? Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you
You've
so
done
much.
well. Toto bene, toto bene,
Thank
toto
you.
bene.
I like the Italian. I don't like Italian there, you know. It's not easy to learn Italian, but you try.
I'm trying. I love, Italy's one of my favorite places in the world, apart from Ghana. So yeah. So just a bit. So yeah, tell me a little bit about your background. So Italian Ghanaian, of course. You're
Yeah.
born in Ghana, and then
Born in Italy.
in Italy. Sorry,
Yeah.
born in Italy, but Ghanaian backgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you came over to the UK.
100%.
So what was that? What was that? Tell me really, really briefly. What was that like? And what was your career like over there before you came over to the UK?
You know, I would say that it's almost difficult to have two identities, you know, in the sense that, you know, I'm Ghanaian,
Yeah.
and I have a Ghanaian passport.
Yeah.
I have an Italian passport, but I grew up in Italy pretty much all my life. The good thing is that my parents really wanted me to learn. I'm a Fante, so they wanted me to learn Fante. So at home, they will always speak to me in Fante and in English as well.
Yeah.
And obviously the Italian, I would just learn it naturally going to school. And then I went to in Ghana for about 1 year or two. Lived there for a bit, so I really learned how to, you know, speak Ghanaian.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm saying that you have two identities, because you almost don't learn 100% of the two cultures. Like, you are Italian, but then you are not. So living in Italy was a bit of a struggle at times because, you know, unfortunately, I have to say this, the Italians, they accept you as who you are, as a black person.
Yeah.
But when it comes to being Italian, not everybody accepts you as an Italian.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a tough environment, because you're gonna meet, you know, people who are gonna be racist with you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that a lot of people too have been good to me. You know, I had good
Yeah.
friends. In Italy, I used to play basketball. I played to become a semi-pro in basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty much what I was doing from when I was about 13 till I was about 23, 24.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, from there I decided to move to the UK at some point, because, you know, Italy wasn't, I mean, I was growing and I wanted to really play. My vision was to be an NBA player.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you have to be realistic at some point. You get there?
That's true. Yeah.
And my mom was like, look, you still can continue playing your basketball. There is semi-pro play, you know, players that live also in London. Why don't you go and try and, you know, your luck? But I want you to study. You know, our parents, African parents, when it comes to studies, they are not going to play around with that one, you know. Even if you're a billionaire, you have to have your university certificates and things like that. So I said, you know, I want to go and, you know, see London. And then that is how I ended up here, really.
That's amazing. And I think it's fascinating that having an African parent, usually they're not, well, the typical African parent isn't usually for things such as basketball, sports, you know, music, media. They're more into the typical careers, you know, doctor, dentist, lawyer,
engineer,
accountant, engineer, you name it, right? But when it comes to basketball, hey, you know, what are you doing? Go and study medicine. So I think it's amazing that your mother, you know, supported you and she encouraged you regarding basketball. But at the same time, I think if you know, something's not going to work out for you, then you quickly pivot. I mean, I wanted to be an athlete, but then, you know, it got to a point where I realized that wasn't going to happen for me. Same thing from being a music producer. So here I am, a podcaster. Yeah, I think your journey is amazing. And I remember on our call, I think you told me, and I think you mentioned on LinkedIn as well, that you came basically to the UK effectively almost nothing. Is that correct? Was it 12 years ago?
Yeah, so 12 years ago.
Wow.
So when I was moved, so I would say from the basketball.
Yeah.
And I would say this, I'll just add this to just have a context of what I'm about to say. When I was playing basketball, I wasn't that good initially. But then I met this coach that he just took me under his wings. There was a previous coach that never wanted me to join the first team.
Wow.
And this, because I wasn't good, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this coach saw so much of my potential, and he used to be so hard on me. And one day he told me, listen, don't be upset. You know, I'm being hard on you because I know the potential that you have. And that just changed the way I was, like from that moment when I was 14 years old. He told me, listen, go out when nobody is playing. When you come to training, after training, during the resting days, go out in the field, play alone with nobody. He was putting me, he was giving me those sort of advices, and initially I thought it was nothing because I was like, but I started doing it, and that completely changed my whole game.
Wow.
I remember a summer we were playing, and people were like, yo, who is this guy? Like, Giuseppe, this is not you playing basketball. Well, I started coming in on newspapers, one of the biggest biggest newspapers in the UK, which is the Gazette of Sports, basically. And, and once I stopped playing basketball, that sort of knowledge and advice that this coach gave me never really left me. Like, literally, that sort of like, hustle culture that he taught me transitioned into real life. So when I moved into the UK, I pretty much came with almost nothing, to be honest. I would say I had probably £100 in my account.
Wow.
And at some point, my mom, I went to live with a friend of my mom. And it was a culture shock because English, I spoke at home, but really, it was, for me, it was more of like broken English because I was more Italian than anything. And I couldn't understand the British English, the inni and inni. Oh my God, people will be talking, and I will make phone calls to look for a job because I was looking for anything I could find. And I couldn't understand anything on the phone. They would tell me, send me this, send me that. By the time the phone call finished, I don't know what I have to send. So like 3-4 months, I didn't have any job.
Wow.
I was struggling, man.
Oh
I was
gosh.
struggling so much. There was a times where I remember I almost, I even slept standing one time, in a sense that I had nowhere to sleep. And because it was getting crazy,
Slept standing.
Trust me, because
Yeah.
So and then from there, things started getting better. I met some amazing good people. Started going. There was a church that I used to go. They helped me so much. And then from there, I applied for uni because I had to really get some money before applying for uni and all of this stuff. I tried playing basketball. I'm not gonna lie, I tried, but here was so different.
Difficult,
Basketball was not at the level I thought, that he would have been. Italy was completely different, man.
Wow.
So I was struggling, man. I was struggling.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing that you came with nothing, and just to see where you are today it's incredible. But I think what your coach taught you in terms of the hustle mentality, I think just learning about some of the LinkedIn posts you put out there, it definitely translated into where you are today. Because when you mentioned, is it correct, you did some night shifts?
Yeah.
Wow.
100%.
Yeah.
I used to work in Tesco night shifts.
Yeah.
As a picker.
Yeah.
And a loader. And that was actually my first job I got. I don't know how many jobs I've done here in the UK.
Yeah.
I've even worked in landfill before.
Landfill. My gosh.
Cleaner, landfill, customer service.
Everything. Yeah.
And that is because also when I started going to uni, actually first I was doing a foundation degree.
Yeah.
And I was studying. It was difficult for me to also work full time.
Yeah.
So at time I'll find a job, keep working, and then they're like, look, we need you full time here. And I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
So or I stop studying or I go to university and study. So I would just stop and look for another job. And then the business came in and I wasn't paying myself.
Yeah.
I was also still studying during that time. And I had to focus on being an entrepreneur, steady. And then as I would just leave because sometimes an opportunity will come and I have to go and pitch and I have my shifts to do. And my manager is like, no, you can't, I need you at work. I probably called sick 20 times because I will be using the opportunity to go and pitch for my business. And so at times I would just get fired. Yeah, you are not coming to work because you are prioritizing other things, then obviously you're going to pay for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that got me to doing a lot of many jobs, and I kept on obviously going. But there was one thing is that I never gave up on the business idea, really. But yeah, coming to Tesco, I was doing night shift. At times I would do 7 days a week, you know, with uni, trying to save some money and trying to run the business, injecting the money in my first business.
And that wasn't even this. That was your first business. Man, you've persevered. You've come through some challenges.
Yeah. It's been a long journey. But I would say the journey has taught me a lot, and so many of the things that happened during the way, I can understand why now. Because they really shaped me to be the person I am now. Really. It's not easy, but one thing is that I'm very, very grateful, because even now that we're talking about it, it makes me think, wow, like even when I was working in Tesco, I kept on telling myself one day I'll be a testimony, I'll be talking about this sitting somewhere. So let me keep pushing and stuff. And I'm here today just talking about it. So just thinking about it, it makes me so grateful. You know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I had a guest who was in today earlier on, and she talked about having a vision that she had when, she didn't have much, and, and now she's living it. And I think one thing's for sure is when you set a vision or a goal, you have a vision, you go in your mind, and you're just determined to achieve it. You're more likely to achieve it than not just having anything and just going about life anyhow. So, I mean, wow. So that hustle mentality, you put money into your first business. What was your first business?
So my first business was called Ooze drinks.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much the same concept as this one, as Goose. And the idea was to save fruits from going to waste. But the way it all started is very funny.
Yeah, so you pivoted to this.
I pivoted to this from there.
Okay.
So I was in college doing a foundation degree. And I'm someone who loves, because I have a background in product design. So I love presenting, I love doing design, and for my final year project, I was focusing on food waste. So I found out about the issue of food waste in the UK and Europe, the fact that there is up to 40% of fruits going to waste because of shape, size, and color.
Yeah.
Supermarkets are not buying all of these fruits. When you go to supermarket, you see the nice looking fruits, all polished, shiny. But in nature, fruits comes in all shapes and sizes.
It does. It can't be polished and shiny.
So what are we really eating? What's going on? What is all that,
So that's why I try and go to the markets instead.
Exactly. What is all of that, different shapes, sized fruits? Apparently, they don't buy them because it costs them less to pack them, especially the same size fruits. It costs them less to pack them and ship them. But if you get different size fruits, then how are you managing that one?
True.
So farmers can sell them and they throw them. So I said, wow, okay. So I started researching, going around, and found out that there is a real problem there. So I created a drink called Ooze drinks, and it was smoothies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I did an amazing presentation, and final year, someone came in, and I'll mention his name. It's called Sean. I'm always grateful about this guy. He came in and he's like, who did this? And I'm like, oh, that is me. And I was explaining, and he was a tech entrepreneur. And he said, you know what? Come with me. Let's get this one going. Like, do you want to be an entrepreneur? I'm like, yeah. So he actually taught me how to run business. Although he was a tech entrepreneur, he didn't know anything about the food industry. He was showing me the basics.
Yeah.
And that is where I picked up so many of of how to start a business, register a business, what I have to do here and there. But the first business, man, was a mess. Was crazy. I had other two co-founders.
Yeah.
We were all learning initially, but I would say it was a learning curve. We won some awards. We won with our first funding was grants. Was a 5K from Shell.
Shell, the energy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they came to us. We applied for a competition that they had. We won it in all the UK. And they gave us 5K to start. that 5K was amazing because we were able to use it to do many things. But let's be honest, when it comes to start out 5K, it's
nothing. It just gets you off the mark.
Exactly, but I would say it was an amazing journey. I learned a lot when it comes to dealing with people because unfortunately my relationship with my co-founders went sour. It didn't go well at all. We split.
Yeah.
That taught me that, you have to be patient when it comes to business. You have to, and also when it comes to startup and co-founders, set up the ground and the foundation immediately. Who is who in the business? Who commands? Who is the second person in command? Who is the third person? What do you do? What do I do? And also when we come on the table, everybody have to be accountable, for what we're doing. All of these things, I learned them because of the mistakes I did before. So Ooze Drinks, although I had to close it down at some point because it was an amazing product. I met supermarkets that wanted the products. But especially I had the chat with Sainsbury's. They are buying it and they're like, we love this product, but the shelf life, man, it's not, it's only 3 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 3 months is not enough. But yeah, it's, we can't bet on a startup company that's, you are a startup. Nobody knows you. 3 months for us to just sell your product is not going to happen.
It's true. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I saw the viability wasn't there. I just said,
walked away.
Enough. But that was the hardest thing of my life, to be honest, to close down my company.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think I was in depression. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh. Because you put everything into it.
I did.
Money, your time.
4 years
everything.
in it.
So everything into it.
I was like, man, so what's next? But my sister was one of the people that she's so close to me, and she kept on telling me, listen, Giuseppe, and obviously we are Christians, My
Amen.
parents are pastors.
Really?
Yeah, they are
Praise
pastors,
God.
and my sister was like, listen, man, you didn't come here by yourself. God always was by your side. So keep praying and be strong. Just pray, and I know things will. She was so, how can I say, supportive. And at some point, I just had some. God spoke to me. I was like, what? Actually, I've learned so much. Like, what am I doing? Being depressed, mental health is so real.
Yeah.
I was down completely. And at that point, I was like, no, I can actually do something here. Or I can go around and help other startups. Or I can start my own business again. So I started doing a bit of design for businesses, giving them advice on, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And then at some point, I just said, okay, time for round 2.
So you got back into it.
Yeah.
And how did Gusto come about? And I think you brought in another co-founder, and says it Claudio?
Claudio.
Claudio Wusu, another Ghanaian-Italian.
Ghanaian-Italian.
Hey, global Ghanaian citizens. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's just a very quick announcement. For today's episode offer, I'd like you to check the link in the description below. This is a special offer that we managed to secure in partnership with one of our guests or one of our partners. So please check the link in the description below for today's episode offer. You'll be able to take advantage of what we have in store for you today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode, and I hope you enjoy the offer. Take care. How did the idea for Gusto come about? And then you brought on a co-founder, Claudio.
Yeah.
Claudio Wusu. Were your previous co-founders also Italian Ghanaian, or this one just happened to be Italian Ghanaian?
They were actually Nigerians.
Okay.
They were Nigerians. And the thing is, obviously, our brothers and sisters, they are brothers and sisters.
They are.
They are, yeah. And for me, they are like, they push so much.
Yeah.
So that is one thing I also learned working with, Nigerians, like they really push in terms of, they just want to get things done, I'm still in touch with Sean, which is the person who really pushed me to, I even had the meeting with him some 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about things, how things going. It's always good to catch up,
Yeah.
He always having some crazy stuff going on for himself. So, it's always great to catch up. But yeah, they were not Italian, they were Nigerians. And personally, I think they were part of my journey as well. And I'm always grateful for also the learnings I had with them as well, So
Amazing. Okay, so And how important, I'm sure you've clearly seen an importance of having a co-founder in previous business endeavors. How important is it for you to have a co-founder by your side rather than going alone?
Yeah, so some people may say, oh, I've had the bad experience. I don't want to have any co-founder. Or I want to be very hard on myself and be very hard with whoever is going to be my next co-founder. I'm not going to give anybody a chance. But for me, it was more of like understanding, okay, where did I go wrong? Where did they go wrong? And draw some, I would say, be fair with it. Like, don't just be very hard on anybody that will come on my way. So I had already set in my mind, like, look, I'm very strong in terms of branding, design, the packaging I do it myself, the design I do it myself. So that saves a lot of money.
It does.
Marketing wise, I'm the one who takes care of the marketing. So I was like, when it comes to sales and numbers, finance, that's not me, man. I'm not good at that. I'm not good in maths, I'm not gonna lie. It's something I've still tried to improve, because that is something you have to have. When you pitching, you have to talk about numbers. You can't hide. Especially if you are the CEO, come on. You have to show that, you can't just tell the investor, I don't know what I don't know the numbers.
But happens a lot in Dragons Den, though.
Exactly. So I was like, no, I need to be able to, my strengths, I know what is my strength. My weaknesses, I need to find someone who can help me in doing this. So Claudio was someone I was working with. And we were also going to the same college at the time. But to be honest, we didn't talk about business. At that time, I was doing Ooze drinks. We didn't talk about business, nothing, never. At some point, we ended up working together in Tesco. And he kept on telling me, oh, Giuseppe, well done, man. I see you are doing these Ooze drinks. Well done, And then he started uni. I was going to uni. We lost each other at some point. And then I remember in 2018, he contacted me. Hey, Giuseppe, like, I saw you are doing a lot of stuff. I want us to meet up. And Gusto hasn't even, to be honest, hasn't even been registered as a business, nothing. Like, I was pretty much just working on a bit of packaging and here and there. I didn't even have a name at that time. So I meet Claudio, I remember, in Stratford. And he was like, we were just talking, and he was going through as well in, certain things in his own life. He was down completely as well. Everybody had their own problems at that time. So he's like, we're talking, and he's like, I want to learn from you, man. Like, this business you were doing Ooze. And I told him, listen, Ooze Drinks is no more. And I was explaining him about how me and my business partners have split and this and that and the whole journey. And he's like, wow, I thought you were doing good for yourself. I said, well, listen, it's a journey. So he's like, so what's next? And I said, look, I'm working on this thing. I don't even have a name for it, but I don't want you to be like my just someone who is learning. I know you are very good in sales. You're studying. He was studying sports management, but he was also working for a sales company. So I said, Claudio, listen, let's work together. I don't know your skill sets yet, but as we go in together, we all gonna learn together and see how this one goes. And then I asked him, I've worked on the packaging. How would you call this brand? And he said, Gusto. So I said, cool.
Wow, just like that's how the name came about, just like that.
Yeah. And the reason why is because Gusto in Italian means taste. And he was thinking about the fact that the fruits are going to waste. But these fruits are still edible. They are good. So he wanted to call them Gusto. And we said, okay, a touch of Italian to it.
I love it. That's perfect. See how God works, man. Bringing another Italian Ghanaian brother your way. And you both think the same way, both going through a similar path. And your paths just crossed. Your paths departed, but your paths crossed again. It's amazing. It's such an amazing story. Wow. So that's how you got the name. And then regarding the brand as well. So I know you focus a lot around sustainability, upcycling fruits. Sustainability is huge talking point at the moment. It's a hot topic right now. It's from a climate perspective, from food perspective, waste perspective, so many different perspectives. And then you also mentioned wonky fruit in your brand is something that you guys use. What's a wonky fruit?
So wonky fruit is basically misshapen fruit that has different shapes, or different sizes. That's how we call it wonky fruit.
Okay.
It's all the shape is very funny.
Yeah.
I think some of the supermarkets started trying to sell them, but again, I think that was just scaring people off, because you have an apple that have three hands poking out, things like that. These are all from nature, but unfortunately people don't buy them.
Okay. And then with this brand as well, tell me through the process. I mean, how hard was it for you to kind of like get your brand out there, get into supermarkets? Because I've seen various guerrilla marketing campaigns you guys have been doing outside Selvages with the signs.
There is more coming.
I love it. But then also at the same time, you've ended up on JC.
JC the Cox.
That's it. Billboards, all over the place as well. And there's one that I like. There's one I'm sure now I realize that you're probably the one behind this concept where there's a board. I think this is real, right? It's on the Instagram, right? And then it goes, a very serious official statement. A group of very naughty people reported to our bosses that our good looks are not good enough. We argued with our bosses, pleaded, and even threw in the wonky fruit argument. Because clearly looks don't matter. It's not a beauty contest, right? Well, they didn't give an F. Brackets fruit. So after several months of breaking our, of course, and has an apple and looks like a butt, right? Breaking our butt. Yeah, it's clever. We finally come out with something that will get all of the full-time gospels to talk about our looks. I just want to say I love the branding and the copy behind your company. I'm sure you and your team come up with that. It's fantastic.
So
fantastic
I mean, the idea is that to be fun with it. Sustainability is a big topic, but you have to be able to play around with it for customers to understand. So that is what we want to focus on when it comes to Gusto snacks. We don't want to be a brand that is very quiet. We don't want to do things. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody is marketing. Oh, buy my product, buy my product. But those that really do things differently, unconventional marketing, is we stand out. And especially a startup that doesn't have big budgets to play around with, you have to be creative. So things like real fruits comes in all shapes and sizes. We love all the curves and all the edges. Things like this really are catchy, So these are the things we play around with. And to answer your question, how did we really start? As I said, because of my previous experience, I told Claudio, listen, we have to start and look for grants. There is a lot of free money around the country for startups and for innovative projects. So let's look for them. Claudio applied for the Shell competition. He won the competition. And again, that is to show I previously got the funding for a previous business, and then they also supported this one, which I was behind it, supporting Claudio to raise funds. And then we go, I would say in total for Gusto, we raised about 20,000 in grants.
Wow.
To start.
It's not bad.
And that all because of Ooze drinks.
It's more than 5K, isn't it?
Exactly, I realized that, okay, we can actually, if we push ourselves, we'll be able to do that. So once we got all that funds, we started looking for a manufacturer. And a good thing is that Claudio also, you see, when I talk about a chain of connections, I met Claudio. Claudio also brought in another person who is called Aubrey. He's Ghanaian.
Yeah.
He's Italian as well. I mean, he speaks Italian. I have to ask him if he was born in Italy or not. But, he was in Italy. He worked for Philip Morris.
Okay.
So he's a manager in Philip Morris. He's so intelligent, this guy. Like, he brought in the structure, company structure.
Wow.
Yeah, like, guys, don't do this, don't do that, don't play with this. He was on the financial side of the business.
Yeah.
Claudio is on the sales, and this guy is pure finance and business strategy, and also when it comes to negotiating, he knows how to talk.
Yeah.
So I said, perfect, man. I can just focus on pushing the business when it comes to branding, marketing, and things like that. When it comes to sales, Claudio is there. And then we have Aubrey, who is bringing that corporate, experience to get us to, don't do things wayward, like anyhow. You do this, you did that. So he is on our finance, and that is what really set up. We had the perfect combination of young black founders that are just ready to conquer the food industry. We were so excited. We are still excited, and we said, okay, let's launch the product with a small amount. So we started with 10,000 units, and that was 2020, just after the pandemic.
Ooh.
So we was wondering, should we launch this product now? Because supermarkets are closed. Supermarkets are closed. Our website, you have to inject in so much money to be able to, a lot of things are going on online. So how do we launch it? And we said, you know what? In December 2020, we said, let's just go, man. Let's just launch it because we have 10,000 units to sell. And, we started working with subscription boxes online initially.
It's clever.
We started small, and at that time, the COVID restrictions were being eased. So slowly we started talking with independent retailers and testing the product here. And then we were able to sell all of the 10,000 units that year. And then we said, okay, now let's try and push it further, But it was tough. It was tough because it's not as straightforward as, I'm going to Selfridges, or I'm going to W.A. Smith, or I'm going to Tesco to tell them, hey, this is my product. Do you like it or you don't like it? It's just not straightforward like that. Like, it's a long process.
I'm sure it's a long process for sure. Wow. But we will touch upon that very, very briefly. I'm just very curious and interested to learn from you. So, round 2, this time seems to be working. But looks like this time is different. You've brought on a co-founder who seems to be getting on a lot better with you. But also there seems to be a lot more structure, more systems, departments, and a lot more, I'll say, maybe more talented people around you, if I'm correct, right? How's it been different with this business compared to the last business? Is this been the difference maker, having a more reliable co-founder, or not even reliable, but someone that you get on better with, and having more structure? Is that the difference between both businesses?
I would say it's good you mentioned reliable. It was a good word. Yeah, he's reliable.
Yeah.
One thing about us is that we trust each other. I trust Claudio like 100%.
Wow.
The guy can just go around and just, he's like, everybody knows Claudio. It says he can sell you stones, literally. He is like, that person that goes in 100%. And one thing I loved about Claudio is that he just loved Gusto as much as I love it.
So that's important.
That is what makes the difference.
Yeah.
And also, I trust Aubrey, the other co-founder, and Claudio when they work together. At times, they will be having their meeting about pricing here and there. I know that they will deliver. All I have to do as well is we meet up, discuss about it, and hey, let's go. Yeah, I love this. I love that, And the thing is that we all respect each other in a sense that, okay, we have roles. I'm the CEO, you are the CEO. Aubrey is more of an advisor, but he has shares in the company.
Yeah.
But we respect each other so much, and in a sense that nobody is less than the other. We know our roles, and so that's why I was saying it's good as a founder and a co-founder to be able to set the tone from the beginning. We do things properly. And we do things based on, for the company. You don't just do things anyhow. And I will say again, trust is number 1, transparency number 2, and 3, I would say also honesty. Like, be honest. Don't feel like, I think with us we have a culture whereby we are all very honest with each other, and nobody is scared to speak because we don't take offense. If I scrutinize you, it's not because I'm saying, no, you didn't do this properly because because I hate you or anything. No, it's for the betterment of Gusto Snacks. Same for me. I am the CEO. That doesn't mean I'll be walking around and just saying whatever I want and doing whatever I want and putting pressure on people to just do, just because, oh, I feel like I'm the boss. Listen, no, it doesn't work like that. So I think that sort of culture is what I love. And one thing I love about myself is that although I had some experience in my previous startup, I allow Claudio to be himself, like without putting pressure on him. I'm not gonna lie, I had like I was a bit scared as well. Oh, will this go left? But I trusted my gut to be like, okay, let me allow Claudio to also live the startup experience. He's gonna grow, but we are growing together, and I'm learning. But one thing I really love is allow him to, to understand the startup scene and be able to grow. And it was a good thing. I think that was one thing that I'm very proud about. Yeah,
that's an amazing story right there, and I think you've just outlined what a good co-founder looks like. Someone you can trust, someone that can be transparent with you, someone that's honest and reliable.
Yeah,
I think those 4 things are key. And I like the fact about, you see everyone, sees each other the same level. Yes, you may have different roles and different high seniority, but everyone sees each other in the same level. And I think what I like about that is that I think it creates a culture where companies can thrive and grow together quicker. Like the other day, I watched a video of Elon Musk. I don't know how I stumbled upon it on YouTube. Elon Musk at SpaceX office. This was maybe 2009. He's walking around this office, and Giuseppe, you see all of these staff members, all of the offices literally look exactly the same. Oh, this is where the CEO sits. This is the CEO office. Everyone's literally just the same. It's like an open space working environment.
I think I saw that.
You saw that video, yeah? Everyone's like in the same level, essentially. Yes, someone might have the CEO title, someone may not, but everyone's essentially the same level. And when you have that kind of culture, I think Bloomberg is similar. When you have that kind of culture as well, I think it just makes people feel valued 100%. And equal.
Yeah, like I think in Africa they do a lot of that. Sorry for my fellow Africans, but hey, I think they do a lot of that. You see the building and the top, the CEO is at the top. You are at the top doing what? What is your company doing? You don't even know what is going on at the bottom, So I love what you're saying that, for example, Elon Musk, everything was on the same floor. He's going around. Everybody knows him. He will be greeting everybody. I don't think you don't gain anything by being so proud about yourself in terms of like, I'm above everybody, so, everybody should be scared about me.
Yeah.
The goal is not to being scared. The goal is to grow the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I always love to work with people who challenge me and that even they are better than me. I will never, if we were to get someone to come on board to run the marketing, I want someone who just kill it more than me, to be honest.
True.
That is what I love. And I will be working with that person to be able to grow and be at their same level, to be able to work together, properly. Not that I'm sitting down and they are just killing themselves for the business, So.
Yeah. I think that's key. I think in terms of talent and recruiting, I think it's always important to find someone who knows more about a specific area than you do, and them having the expertise, because that person can really take the company to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
When you have someone that has more knowledge than you, let's say. Giuseppe, this is a really good conversation. I want to transition into just the food industry. What is it about food waste and food beverage? I mean, your first business was drinks, and this one's food. What is it about food, beverage, drinks that stands out to you? Sorry.
So I would say, also, you mean comparing the two?
Yeah, I mean, what is it that appealed for you to go into that industry? Like, what appeals to you?
I think the packaging, first of all, because obviously I'm a product design.
Your product design makes sense.
I love branding.
Yeah.
I love branding so much.
Yeah.
And obviously in university, that is the kind of thing that I started getting into. I taught myself how to use all the platforms. I mean, all the applications such as Photoshop, Illustrator.
Yeah.
All
Adobe
of this
Creative
stuff.
Suite, yeah.
Exactly. I learned in uni, in university they had the free software.
Yeah.
I was using it crazy. At some point my teachers were like, yo, this presentation is like professional level, man. So so even at some point, in uni for me, I thought, okay, I think I've passed the uni level at the moment. But I think branding, but also dealing with products when it comes to product development.
Yeah.
Obviously I love food, but I love also the process of creating, for example, the drinks, creating that product that someone would drink, and I'm like, wow, people are actually eating my product. People are actually drinking my product. So that is what actually pushed me to say, okay, I think this industry for me, and now seeing my product on shelves, I'm like, man, this is people actually buying my product from Amazon, giving reviews, good or bad. I love it because I'm like, this is my dream, getting people to buy my product. So, and also one thing I would say is that I think it's just also manufacturing, like the process of one day I'm gonna say I want to own a manufacturing site.
Why not?
Whether in Ghana or here, having a manufacturing, just seeing these machines automatically packing, these products and things like that. It's something that intrigues me.
Yeah.
So that is what pushed me into, the food business, really.
Wow. Yeah, I know some people who manufacturing. I know some people are setting up some manufacturing factories and plants in Ghana. Maybe that's a conversation we can have in the future when you want to go there. But yeah, it's a beautiful full circle moment just to see your products available on some of the, stocked in some of the biggest distributors and stockists out there in the world, Amazon, Selfridges, WH Smith, etc. And yeah, I think you picked the right industry. Sustainability is hot. I think we're entering into a day and an age where carbon net zero, things like that, is going to be the thing of the future.
Yeah.
And being able to upcycle food waste and turn into something sustainable and usable again, I think it's going to be very, very, very key.
100%. And one thing is that sometimes, customers don't see the difference between a big company and a startup. For them, you are selling food from going to waste. Why is your packaging still plastic?
Yeah.
But they don't understand that we are saving fruit from going to waste.
Yeah.
We also need a reliable packaging to store the product. If not, our product will just go to waste again for no reason, So, so we at the moment for our packaging, we are working on finding alternative packaging, but biodegradable packaging at the moment is still very young in the industry. So the manufacturers told us, listen, let's be honest with you, even if you come and buy biodegradable packaging, your shelf life will be cut like in half. Our products at the moment last like 1 year, 8 months.
Wow.
But they will say it will slash it completely.
Really?
It will probably be 3 or 4 months.
Oh my gosh.
So we're like, wow, okay, this is not for us at the moment. So as a startup, you also, although you are talking about sustainability, you have to also understand how, you're going to deal with these things.
Yeah.
You can't just go all out.
Yeah.
Because not everything is viable at the moment. I believe once we get to a certain stage, in terms of revenue, in terms of, in terms of company size, we'll be able to have enough budget to say, okay, let's invest more into packaging now.
Yeah.
Now, we have been able to, how can I say, conquer the territory of food waste. Now let's focus on something else, because even to deal with the farmers is another story as well. And we are always transparent with this. Our products, we use wonky fruits, but it's not 100%. It's about 15% in the pack.
Okay.
And that is because wonky fruits is not always available. It's also difficult to deal with, the manufacturing side of it. Not every fruit our manufacturer is able to get. So because we don't have complete control of the supply chain. We are still very small. So what we can save is what we save at the moment. So for us, Gusto Snack at the moment, the idea is that once we grow as a company, then we'll be able to have a certain section of the company completely specialized on going to the farm level to be able to sort all of this issue. Another group will be focusing on just manufacturing. At the moment, it's just me, Claudio, and my other business partner, and some freelancers who work with us. Really.
Okay, it's a small team, still a small team at the moment. But you're doing big things.
100%.
Let's not despise the small beginnings, as the Bible says. So you're doing big things. So keep at it. Before we bring this to a close, I want you to talk me through the product. So I love the packaging, the design, the branding. I'm holding apple crisps with mango twist, right? Beautiful product. Talk me through the target market. Who is this product aimed at? Like who is it for? Talk me about the product.
So we were thinking about a lot of people talk about kids eating fruits. When it comes to fruit products, this is for kids. But then when you look at the statistics, adults don't eat much of fruit, and unfortunately, parents are the reflection of their kids. So as a parent, if you are not having that culture in your home whereby you eat regularly fruits, of course your kids will be eating fried potato chips every day. You know what I mean? So for us, we want to, as a business, we want to target adults. That's why the packaging is not kids like. It's more of like channeled towards adults, and be able also to influence their kids as well. So we have a lot of busy moms buying our products for their kids for school. As I've said, we have launched in many offices, so targeting, the offices or the professional space.
Yeah, you mentioned Bloomberg and Google.
Exactly,
fantastic.
the young adults, and also universities, Gen Zs, students in unis, and fitness enthusiasts.
Yeah,
people who go to gym. I'm someone who goes to gym as well.
Nice.
So as a healthy sugar snacking for a start, I eat Gusu snacks, for example.
You eat your own snacks as well, isn't it?
Exactly. I eat my own snacks. It works for me to have that boost to start training. So instead of, eating, I remember I was at the gym and someone was eating Haribos.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, come on, man. I had to go and advertise my product. I just say, you know what? If you want to have some sugar boost, stop eating this crap. At least eat some fruits, So, that's the demographic. But the idea for us is really to, we want adults to feel kids again.
Yeah.
Eat some fruits, 1 of your 5 a day. And then if you have kids, that is also a great way to, get them to eat some fruits as well.
Brilliant. It's a fantastic product inside and out. Giuseppe, you've done a fantastic job. Any plans so at the moment it's just in the UK, just being sold in the UK? Is it sold internationally as well?
We are in Germany as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we launched in Germany this year, testing the ground, and we use Amazon to go through Germany because Amazon is our biggest market at the moment. And then we are hopefully planning to go to Netherlands and Belgium next year, January, to see some of the buyers. And I mean, our plan is to really be able to get into Europe as much as possible because they are also very familiar with dried fruits.
Yes.
So yeah, that is the plan.
Italy?
Italy, we would love to go there, but the market is tough.
It's tough.
Italy
for this type of product.
Yeah, Italy, they are not very familiar with startups. Okay. There is a lot of manufacturers, but they are family generation owned. They have their roots is like 1800, things like that. Exactly. So and they are very traditional when it comes to they are very loyal to certain products.
It's true.
So I would say like Innocent, for example, they were in Italy. I think they have drawn out for Italy.
They exit the market.
Yeah, it's a very tough market. Also the government is not not as friendly as the UK. So as you can see, the UK there is a lot of startup coming up. In Italy, I wouldn't have never had the opportunity to open a startup. Impossible. Yeah. And as a black person, first of all, and it's a tough place. So I would say for us, I would say the USA probably will come at some point because it's a massive market. Huge. But again, going into a big market like the USA, you have to be very prepared because if you go there unprepared, you're going to waste your money. So yeah.
It's true, because it's the biggest market to crack. If you can crack USA, you can pretty much do
Oh
any
man,
market. So,
100%.
and the population is huge, and they
Massive.
love food as well.
You can literally just make it just in the USA and not go anywhere else. You know,
Charlie, I'm telling you,
Charlie.
I'm telling you. All right, Giuseppe, this has been a fantastic conversation.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to the day that you completely own the whole entire supply chain.
Amen to that.
And it's going to be a fantastic,
amen to that.
Business journey for Gusto Snacks. Now, I want to wrap up with, now, I think I started it with one LinkedIn post, and now I want to kind of end it with, you just talking again about the startup journey. So I want to continue this post that I started to talk about. So you go on LinkedIn, you say, I realize every business is different and growth happens differently for everyone. After 5 years of bootstrapping Gusto Snacks, here's what I've achieved. Secured angel investors of VC funding, launched into high street supermarkets, expanded to airports, launched into 50 offices across the UK. And the startup journey has been a race for you. What advice would you give for those that want to launch or grow their own startups?
So I would say, first of all, obviously, understand the market you are going in. And don't be scared to try. In this sea, there is space for every sort of fish to roam about.
Yeah.
Like, I've often hear people saying, oh, don't get into this market, don't go. Everybody is different. The journey is different for everybody. Yes, a market can be very saturated, but it depends on how you go into it, And that's why I say, study your market, understand it, and just understand if you have the strength to go into this market. So, because for some founders, it's very easy. For some others, it takes time. It's gonna bring you down and bring you up while you are going. So I would say my best advice for anybody who wants to start a business, who wants to start in any industry, just study the industry, learn about it as much as you can. Go crazy. Go crazy. But if really you want to launch, but go crazy about it and understand really, what it would take you. Because, as I said, I didn't pay myself for 5 years, or more.
Takes a lot of patience and delayed gratification, doesn't it?
Yeah, it takes and sacrifices. You want to go and work in a big company that will pay you some good money, and you are thinking, okay, it's going to take all my time. When am I running my business? But then, you have to, that's why I'm saying planning is very important. Just, launch, but then understand also what is my time into this. Do I have to do a part-time work? Can I pay my bills, while I'm doing this? The sacrifice, should I just leave the corporate job and go and live back with my family and work on this business? If you are married, can you convince your partner that you're going to be broke for a while? Yeah, and for a while, I'm saying, I don't know how long that is going to take you.
Yeah.
But that is also important. You have to be very clear with the people. If you have a partner around you, the people around you, how this is going to go, and find the right people around you that will believe in you, because that is really what will take you far, because you're going to be broken and you have to pick yourself up, So, I would say that is the best advice I will give. And never think you can make something happen, really. And there is space for everybody to do, to launch their dream or do whatever they want to do.
That's incredible advice, Giuseppe. I'm sure you help to advise some startups. I'm sure you do. And that alone could be a whole conversation alongside having a partner, which you do, alongside running a company like this or something like this. That could all be a whole conversation, but maybe we'll get you back in the near future and we can talk about different parts
I love that. There's a lot to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. But this has been a great conversation. I've really enjoyed it. Giuseppe, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for responding to me so quickly on LinkedIn. Where can everyone find you? Can purchase Gusto Snacks, connect with the brand, connect with yourself?
So you can go on www.snackgusto, so snack gusto.com, and that is where you can buy our products. If not, you can go on Amazon, Gusto Snacks. You can find us on Amazon. I'm on LinkedIn, Giuseppe Baidoo. And on Instagram, we are gusto.snacks. So you can find us down there. We're going to come soon on TikTok, but we're still working on a few things. So
yeah, very active on LinkedIn. Check out his posts. Very, very good content. Very good content.
So much.
Very, very good content. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Giuseppe Baidoo, co-founder, CEO of Gusto Snacks. They're now available, stocked in Amazon, Selfridges, WH Smith. I believe there's other stockists out there. I'm sure. Are there other stockists?
So at the moment, we are in many independent stores
as well,
but it's difficult to count them because it's the distributors that sell them.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, but yeah, you guys can find the snacks in those places you've just mentioned. There's retailers just mentioned, but other than that, for today's show notes, you can head over to thesoundofaccra.com/Gusto Snacks. That's GUSTOSNACKS. All of today's links, references, tips, and nuggets, all resources from today's episode. Give us a like on the way out. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think of today's episode and how you've enjoyed this. This can determine how we take this relationship with Giuseppe further in future. Who knows? Maybe you might see us do an event together or something. Maybe a startup event. Who knows? Just let us know what you think. I'm Adrian Daniels signing out. Thank you for watching season 7 of the Sound Accra podcast. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this episode to the end. Really do appreciate it. Now, if you want to get the latest updates straight to your inbox from us, including the latest podcast episodes, including exclusive offers and opportunities, including upcoming events, news, so much more, just sign up to our weekly newsletter. You'll find a link in the description below, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on the podcast players, or just head over to thesoundofaccra.com/newsletter. That's thesoundofaccra.com/newsletter. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much. Hey everyone. I go by the name of Adrian Daniels. Welcome to the Sound Accra. Huh? One camera?
Yeah, that's that's the camera you need to be looking at.
Okay.
Actually, let me just come and just touch it up quickly.
Wow.
That's the benefit of a control. They can speak to you. And
yeah. I've never been to like a place with so many cameras before like this. Wow.